I am really excited to share with everyone this interesting piece of sports history because, like we know, logos, icons, team franchises really become part of a state culture. And I discovered a piece of Timberwolves culture that I'm really excited to share with all of you. So I'm excited to introduce you to Mark Thompson, who is the man behind the Timberwolves' first ever original logo. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you betcha.
So, Mark, I learned that back in 1987, there was word that this team, this NBA team, was coming to the Twin Cities, the Timberwolves. No one had ever heard of them before. And they put out this contest for fans to come up with a logo for this team. Take me back to 1987, when you heard about this and how you got involved.
Okay, it was, I believe, in April of '87. The Tribune had a ad for a logo contest, and the first thing that happened before that was they had to pick a name. And so once that got finalized, I don't know, I think that was a contest too. But anyway, so they said they're going to have a logo contest, and I said, I'm a big Minnesota sports fan. Vikings, Twins, all of them. Twins won the World Series once, twice. Vikings, not so much. But anyway, I've been a very loyal Minnesota fan, so I wanted to do this because I'm a graphic designer. I was just starting my business, and I just was going to the library a lot, looking at books, wolves, and different, references. And at that time, there wasn't no internet. There wasn't, or there might have been. If there was, I didn't know about it. And everything I did was with markers, on the drawing board. And so I had sketches of what I wanted to do and like kind of things like this, for my, I got this was like from the Library of Wolves. I just put three together um, and sent them in, and waited about a month. And then a month later or so, I got a call and about fell off my chair. It was, I don't know if it was Bob Stein who called me or who it was, but man, it was cool. So this is the very first Timber Timberwolf shirt, and it's 38 years old, and it's a little wrinkled, and then I think it shrunk a little bit. Either that or I got bigger. I don't know. And then this is the original hat too, that they gave me. And other than that, I got $2,500 and got to rub elbows with the big boys in the cities for a news conference, which scared the living daylights out of me. But hey, it was great, and I'm really proud to have designed this logo.
Okay. Okay, so you find out that your logo was selected.
Hmm.
You go to the press conference and all of that. Take me to now 1989 when the Wolves played their first game, and you're starting to see this. I'm sure you're starting to see some of the merch come out and the jerseys, and then you see this logo on the court. What was all that like?
Oh, that was awesome. Um, I mean, I don't know what to say because back then they were playing in the dome, and yeah, it was just kind of surreal, and it was cool. I remember the original uniforms, and I remember everything about that. But yeah, it was. I don't know what to say. It was pretty cool because I'm Minnesota sports guy. One of the biggest moments I had is when I got to meet um, Bill Musselman, and she wrote me a note that said, I don't know if I've got that here. Anyway, on a calling card, he said, "You are responsible for the um, best logo in the NBA." And that just really meant a lot to me. And I've still got that in a little frame. Um, yeah.
And you had a long, successful career as a graphic designer, but is this kind of a sticking point in your career or something you take a lot of pride in?
Oh yeah, it's the biggest, probably biggest thing I ever did. Most of my work was working for hospitals and banks, doing promotions for them. Billboards, brochures, um, newspaper ads, point of purchase displays, things like that.
But yesterday you told me that your father was alive at the time, and he was a lifelong Minnesota sports fan too. And you said that it meant a lot to him that your logo was selected.
Yeah, he was, the best dad in the world, very supportive of me. And at the time, he was very sick, and it really boosted him up. And he was a proud dad, and yeah, that meant a lot to him and a lot to me. Um, and then that same year, my first daughter was born about 2 weeks later, and then the Twins won the World Series. So it was a very good year.
Cool though. It is really cool that it's kind of just this like unknown nugget of sports history that you were just a fan who entered the contest, and now your work is totally cemented into Minnesota sports culture.
Yeah, and yeah, and Nittler's like 2,500 entrants, and yeah, it was just a really it was it was cool, but it was weird. Um, that something like that would happen, and a lot of luck, and but yeah, it was like 10 minutes of well, yeah, it was probably the best thing professionally that ever happened to me because I live and die with sports teams in Minnesota, and sometimes it hasn't gone really well for some of our teams, going all the way, but I still follow them, and I always will. I've always criticized other logos of other teams and stuff, and critique them because I'm an artist kind of guy, and a good logo to me is one that is very simple and recognizable from a distance. This one here, I had basically the paws coming out of the trees holding a basketball. And then in the jerseys, the number would have been, in the middle of the basketball. And I almost didn't send that one, but I did. So, in the one that I sent that did get picked is this one.
It is really cool though that your design is still it's still out there. It's still being reused some seasons and definitely still on a lot of merchandise.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it stays out there because, every now and then I go to Shields or wherever, and you mostly see the new stuff, but every now and then you'll see the throwback, and and that's pretty cool.